All right, in this video, we're gonna be going through the worst sources of microplastics you wanna cut out in order to maximize your testosterone. Now, why is this really important? Well, we've seen a huge drop in testosterone, and you can do the right steps, take the right stuff to really maximize your testosterone, but some things can really hold you back and put the brakes on your testosterone. So we wanna start to remove these brakes. Now, the first thing that you must cut out that hopefully you're not already doing, vaping, okay? Vaping is a massive source of microplastics. Vaping directly exposes the lungs to microplastics and heavy metals, and men that vape on average have 50% lower testosterone than men that do not vape. So you literally are cutting your testosterone levels in half. So just cut it out. You might have cravings for a week, it's gone. It's just a week and then cut it out. It's the most important thing you do for your health and your testosterone. Now the second one is a bit of a sneaky one. It's actually tea. So if you are drinking tea, in fact, 50% of Americans drink tea almost daily, but if you're drinking tea from a tea bag, all those tea bags are made from plastic polymer, okay? So in order for the mesh not to melt into the hot liquid, they're lined with plastic polymer. Now this is brutal. This is a massive source of microplastics. In fact, tea will leach in more microplastics than literally drinking thousands of plastic bottles of water, okay? It is that bad. You're basically drinking like an estrogen soup. So you wanna be cutting out all tea unless you're doing loose leaf. You don't wanna be doing any of the tea bags. Now the third one is hot liquids in paper cups. So if you're going to Starbucks or a coffee shop and you're getting Americano, well, that hot liquid inside the paper cup is brutal because the paper cup is lined with microplastics. So that leaches into the hot liquid. So what I recommend doing is you can get a steel travel mug with a steel inside. You can bring that to your coffee shop and you can ask them to fill it up in your mug. They legally have to. In fact, sometimes they'll give you even a discount. So you wanna be using a steel travel mug because I actually enjoy walking outside and having a coffee and getting my steps in outside in the sun. And so I like to have a steel travel mug. This is a game changer. So the fourth one is canned food is one of the worst sources of microplastics. It is lined with high amounts of BPA, okay? So canned food is brutal. I understand that a lot of people that are on a budget, they're going for the canned foods because it's very cheap. Do not do that. Canned food is one of the worst sources of microplastics, and this is gonna come into your body. It's gonna put the brakes on your own natural production and cause health issues. All right, number 5, you gotta be very careful what you cook with. I remember when I was a kid, my grandma Patsy, who was very health conscious, she was adamant about not using Teflon. Do not use Teflon. She was convinced that Teflon pans would leach into your food and cause cancer. Teflon and a lot of these non-stick cooking pans are brutal. They actually release hormone disrupting chemicals, forever chemicals, and it is something you do not want to be using. So if you're gonna be cooking, you wanna be using stainless steel, cast iron. Those are your best bets. Any sort of non-stick stuff is going to be brutal. And as you use it and as it kind of peels and flakes, you're just putting a massive supply of chemicals into your food. This is non-negotiable, okay? You wanna be cooking with the right stuff. Now the sixth one is drinking from plastic water bottles. Ideally, you wanna be drinking from glass. Plastic can leach into the water, especially if this water bottle is outside in the sun or in transportation, it was exposed to heat. It's just gonna have a lot of microplastics, and research came out, it's actually a lot higher than we thought. So you can either do a reverse osmosis filter, which gets rid of all the microplastics and stuff like that, or you can, get glass bottles and drink from glass bottles. So this is an important one to cut back on. And you know what? I'm not even perfect on this one, but I just try and for the most part use glass or stuff like that. Once in a while, have a plastic bottle. You're never gonna be able to be 100% perfect, but if you can cut back on this, this is very helpful. And that brings me to the next point, that tap water has a lot of microplastics, even in Florida. Florida is actually, their water supply has a lot of forever chemicals. And so you wanna be using, water filters instead of drinking tap water as well. Even the shower filter, if you're taking a hot shower, this water is getting absorbed into the skin. So if you can use a high quality shower filter, that will be huge. Your skin absorbs everything you put on it. So if you're taking lots of showers without a filter, you're gonna be putting in microplastics and heavy metals and all kinds of things into your skin. Even furthermore, when people do their laundry with synthetic fabrics, that has tons of microplastics get released into the water system. So the water system is filled with microplastics. So you wanna be using high quality filter to drink water as well as showering if possible. Now the next one is artificial fragrance. So you wanna be cutting out artificial fragrance. Now this is a sneaky one because it's in shampoo, conditioner, deodorant. Obviously it's in perfume and cologne, but it's in all these different body products. We use lotions, a lot of laundry detergent, dryer sheets, which you should not be using, but fragrance kind of leaches into everything. Hair products, skin products. So you wanna opt for natural stuff. Now fragrance uses phthalates. This helps extend the scent, and phthalates have been shown to lower testosterone and actually raise sex hormone binding globulin, which locks up and binds to your testosterone, making it harder to use. So you want to be cutting out artificial fragrance. There's also some research that shows that mothers that are exposed to high amounts of phthalates, their sons are born with smaller penises, right? So it's phthalates are not good. You want to be removing phthalates from you, and so avoiding artificial fragrance. Now, you can use natural stuff, you could use oil-based scents. If you really want to have a cologne, you can get like an oil-based cologne, something light, but you do not want to be putting on chemicals and phthalates and artificial scents on your body all day long. In fact, when you work out, you build a great body, shower, you maintain high quality hygiene, your natural scent can actually be very intoxicating through pheromones and stuff like that. And the ideal partner usually will appreciate your natural scent as long as you're fresh and clean. So you do not need to be putting on all this cologne. Now, the next one is a lot of people are doing Uber Eats and ordering stuff on DoorDash and getting these foods in all these plastic containers. And the challenge with that is that hot food on plastic, it's gonna leach plastic into your food. I remember when I was eating on Uber Eats almost every day and my physique just got softer. It was so much harder. Once in a while if I have to, but like just all that hot food in the plastic containers is not good. And also a lot of these takeout food containers are black plastic. Black plastic is commonly made from recycled electronics. It is a much worse source of endocrine disruptors, heavy metals than just normal plastic. So the takeout food is brutal. The plastic forks, the plastic stuff, it's bad for the environment and it's bad for your body. So you want to be cooking, right? And you want to avoid doing all this takeout containers in plastic. And that brings me to the next point, which is synthetic fabric. So a lot of clothing, think workout clothing, it's made with synthetic fabric like polyester, a lot of stuff that's very soft. It's not even cotton, it's just polyester. Fleece is a mix of cotton, polyester. Workout pants, workout shirts, these are loaded with microplastics. They leach, they absorb into your skin. In fact, wearing polyester or synthetic underwear lowers your sperm count. So all of this stuff is not great for overall health. The main thing, especially being your underwear, okay? Do not be wearing synthetic underwear, but you wanna use natural fabrics, cotton, wool, bamboo is great, but natural fabrics are what you wanna use. And it's also terrible for the environment. Every time you wash that, you have billions of microplastic particles that get released into the water, that go into the water system. Even the ocean is flooded now with these microplastics. So we've just gone way too far into the synthetic direction. High quality cotton is much better for you to be using. And even a lot of like spiritual kind of woo guys, they completely use cotton and linen. They swear that the microplastic, the synthetic clothing lowers their vibration, you know? Now, speaking of synthetic clothing and the microplastics getting leached into the water supply, so we're seeing now is that salt has a high amount of microplastics. And this is because of ocean pollution, all these microplastics entering the ocean. So you wanna be using Himalayan salt. This is much lower microplastics. This is my go-to salt. And this last one is gonna surprise a lot of people because everyone have asked about this. They did not know this, but gum. Chewing gum. Years and years ago, they changed the chewing gum base from a natural resin to it's a plastic polymer. So the base of gum is plastic and you're biting into it. You're releasing these particles into your body. So chewing gum is not good for testosterone. Chew gum. If you want to do a mint, that's much better. If you want to source a natural tree resin gum, mastic gums, and there's some gums that are purely non-plastic, you want to be doing that, but cut out gum, okay? Literally pish posh. The important thing to state is that these are some really heavy hitting sources of microplastics that the more of these you can avoid, the better off you're gonna be. You're gonna be removing those breaks from your testosterone production. Now, it is important to state that your body is capable of dealing with some level of microplastics without disrupting hormonal balance, okay? So when you're really, really healthy, your body can handle a certain threshold while maintaining high testosterone. Myself, right? My testosterone levels are over 800 and I'm not perfect, okay? Sometimes if I'm traveling, I will once in a while have a hot Americano in a plastic cup. I'll have an Evian, right? So your body can handle a certain amount, but the more of these you can remove, the better off you're doing. And in Mojo, for example, stuff like Tongadali is anti-estrogenic. Bolon really helps with improving this process. Anti-estrogenic, lowers inflammation, helps your body deal and excrete these microplastics. And in the Kino Nitro, right, a lot of people have the MTHFR gene polymorphism where they're deficient, they can't absorb folate very, very well. Well, methylfolate and methyl B12, it kicks up your methylation process and helps you deal with this environmental estrogen. So my advice for you is do the absolute best job you can and you're gonna be so much healthier. You're gonna have higher testosterone, more free testosterone, you're gonna feel better. And if you dial in the Mojo and the Nitro, it's gonna be so much easier to have high testosterone. I remember when I was in my 20s, the highest testosterone I ever had was in the 600s. Now I'm in my 30s and I'm over 800, and that's using stuff like the Boron and Tongadali and Mojo, the Nitro. Very, very powerful. So if you want to power up your free testosterone, testosterone and feel your best, then you want to be using the MojoStack. Even in the Kino Nitro, we added methyl B12, methylfolate, which is really crucial for blood flow. A huge subset of the population has a gene polymorphism where they can't absorb folate very well. So methylfolate improves your body's ability to produce blood flow, increases energy, and improves your methylation detox pathways. So when you get your body in peak health, some of this stuff is fine, right? A little bit is fine, but if you're doing like chewing gum and tea bags and plastic water bottles and drinking tap water and just stacking this all together, putting on all these different artificial scents, it's gonna be so much harder to achieve high testosterone. Now, if you wanna achieve peak health, maximize testosterone, boost blood flow, and feel your best, you wanna be using the MojoStack. We got thousands of guys on this every single month. And best of all, when you join subscription, you get invited into the Mojo Dojo with my best programs. We do live calls. I have my coaches in there helping you transform your body along the way.